Have you seen Star Wars?
Last week, we talked about the report saying that Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker in the upcoming Kenobi series. Hayden is set to be a regular character in the series that is currently being rewritten. The director for the series is The Mandalorian's Deborah Chow, and fans are extremely excited to see Ewan McGregor return as Obi-Wan in his own series on Disney+. Now that Hayden is returning as Anakin, in this series the excitement has grown, but so have the questions surrounding the show. The biggest questions fans have about Anakin being in the Kenobi series is how will the character return? Will it be a dark side cave moment like Luke had on Dagobah against Vader? Is it just a nightmare that Obi-Wan has in his sleep? Or is it flashbacks to their friendship during the prequels? Well, now we have more details on what could be how we see Anakin Skywalker return to the Star Wars universe in the 2022 Star Wars show centered around Obi-Wan Kenobi. The guys at Kessel Run's Transmission have shared more details on Anakin's role, and they recently correctly leaked the series on The Bad Batch weeks before it was officially announced. Now the guys at Kessel Run Transmissions, along with Jordan Mason, another credible scooper, have said that last year, in 2019, they were told by a credible source that the Kenobi story will involve flashbacks to the Clone Wars, and even that Obi-Wan will be leaving Tatooine in the story. So how does this involve Anakin? Well, it's pretty clear that if there's flashbacks to the Clone Wars, it would be a live-action adaptation of the Clone Wars series. So we would be seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reprising their roles as Obi-Wan and Anakin, but they'll be in their Clone Wars armor from the Clone Wars show. This also means that the flashbacks are before Revenge of the Sith, meaning that the friendship between the two is at its peak. I think this makes the most sense for a few reasons. The Clone Wars series just ended, and due to its success, the prequels have a wave of love and nostalgia. Fans like me who grew up with the prequels are asking to see more of the story about Obi-Wan after seeing the relationship between him and Anakin explored more in the Clone Wars. It's the best time period to go back to visit and add some depth to their friendship. Plus, this adds a big touch of fan service to the show in many ways. The Kenobi series was already a big fan service for Lucasfilm by simply giving the fans what they wanted, which is more Obi-Wan with Ewan McGregor reprising his role as the character. But now they're bringing back Hayden as Anakin, which is something many prequel fans have asked for. And now they're adding more to it by showing a live-action adaptation of the beloved Clone Wars time period, and seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan during that time period gives fans some things they did not know they would want back in 2008 when the Clone Wars started. It's really funny how things change in the fandom. The prequels were not well received in the early 2000s, and many fans did not like Hayden's acting when he played Anakin Skywalker. But when the Clone Wars movie came out and released, even after the first 2 seasons, many fans were against the Clone Wars series and it was heavily criticized. But now 15 years later, after the prequels have ended, and now 12 years after the Clone Wars began, neither of them are hated by the fandom. And we are clamoring to see Hayden play Anakin during the Clone Wars era. What a difference in perception from the Star Wars fandom. One thing I do say we have to stay cautious about is this. Jordan Mason and the guys at Kessel Run Transmissions received this information back in 2019, and if you remember, the show was announced in August of 2019 with the scripts for the series completed and written. Earlier this year, Lucasfilm decided that the scripts they had were too similar to the Mandalorian Season 1 story, so they let go of the original writer, a man named Hassim Amini, and brought in Joby Harold to rewrite the series. Now what this means is that the information about the flashbacks was about the original series scripts, not the ones that are being rewritten right now. The scripts for the Kenobi series are likely being close to finished and finalized, so I doubt there are many people who know what's going to happen with the new story. But the silver lining here is that Hayden's return as Anakin is still happening, and we will likely see him in the flashbacks during that Clone Wars timeline. And if I was a betting man, I'd say Lucasfilm would want to see the flashbacks set in that time period. I assume the flashbacks are some kind of B-plot to the story of the Kenobi series, meaning it's easy to keep that in the show as they change the A-plot to the series. Either way, I and many other Star Wars fans look eagerly to the Kenobi series set to release in 2022 on Disney+, and cannot wait to see how they pull off Anakin's live-action return into the Star Wars universe. When I say this is a fan service show, I mean it is fan service to the highest of levels. We asked for a Kenobi series, we asked for a Kenobi movie, and we asked to see Ewan McGregor reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi. We are now getting that. We've also asked to see Hayden Christensen return as Anakin in a live-action form. we are now getting that. And now, a lot of fans have been wanting to see the Clone Wars put into live action, to see Hayden and Ewan put on the Clone Wars armor, and we are getting that. It seems like Lucasfilm is actually listening to the fandom and responding to the most popular aspects of the Star Wars fandom. And I think this is a great way to close the prequel era of Star Wars in 2022, to see the two main Jedi Knights in the story of the prequel trilogy reunite one last time for one more story. Even if it's in flashbacks, I think a lot of fans will be happy to see Hayden back in Star Wars playing his iconic role of Anakin Skywalker. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe because it does help out the channel. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.